The next big piece, I think, well, big piece really, it did come off of Jackson, and Jackson don't really miss right now, so they're pretty bang on the money when it comes to stories. But I think we should go ahead and pivot out of the Carlos one and actually talk about the k0nfig one, because holy shit, what is going on over there? Like, the fact that, I mean, this guy, so he breaks his wrist, and that nearly tanks his career. Go ahead.
Oh, you mean previously when he broke his wrist in Complexity?
Exactly. So, I mean, already, so it's just like, what's going on with this guy that he just repeatedly has devastating injuries that require time and effort to come back from, and that may actually hinder his career? I mean, the wrist I was a little bit more worried about, because it's just like, dude, you need your hands to play Counter-Strike, right? At least this time it's an ankle. But again, how is this guy breaking his ankle? What's going on? You sit at a PC all day long. And so Jackson come out with a fucking fantastic article where the title reads, sources, Astralis set to remove k0nfig after Fistfight in Malta. And so, okay, already
that's box office already, I know.
I'm already wondering, okay, so what are the questions here? Because we know this isn't like a James Banks fist fight that didn't actually happen. He just got passed out drunk and hit his head. This is a...
You know, this thing's on, right? People watch it. It's on Twitch and everything similar.
No, well, the Banks one is...
This isn't the green room now, mate.
Still that video up of him telling the story of like everything that happened and like the comment below where he's like, oh, you know, could you please remove this? It's like,
true. Yeah, you're right. It was. I know. Fanatic, so James Banks manager here. Please remove this. Like,
please remove this, please. You know, now I'm gonna strike you. And I was like,
true.
Stop. The game is up. But Astralis set to remove k0nfig after Fistfight in Malta, and then k0nfig so apparently comes out in a tweet. I guess that he thinks is going to make things better. But he says,
I've got so much fire for you here. Come on, hit me with it. Just hit me with the facts. Keep going.
Okay, so apparently Astralis are set to remove k0nfig from the active roster because apparently, allegedly, he gets into a fist fight in Malta. And so this is, you know, things have not gone well for him, obviously. They get knocked out of the group. So yet another failure for Astralis, and also going into a pretty high stakes sort of scenario here where you're in Malta to not only compete in Pro League, but then stay, boot camp, grind, and get your best shot possible for RMR. And so somehow, some way, you've gone ahead and gotten a fist fight. Probably the most, well, I mean, come on, unprofessional thing that you can't be doing that as a pro.
As someone who, as you say, uses your wrists, getting into a fist fight would be the most unprofessional action you could take, of course.
But okay, so already we don't really have the details because right now multiple sources tell Jackson that k0nfig was involved in a quarrel that turned into a fist fight after ESL Pro League in Malta. And so where is, oh dude, they don't have the tweet in the article. Shoot, hold on, did I put that in the document?
You put it below it.
All right, so then the tweet that k0nfig comes out with, and it's the classic, I fucking hate this, and it just makes me think that everything Jackson wrote is true, because I hate when players do this. I hate when anybody does this, where it's just like,
don't worry, I've got some liars. Come on.
So I'll just read it for you. Jackson contacted me with rumors that are mostly BS, bullshit, and I asked them to respect it as private. Of course, they went ahead anyway and even added to the story. So I asked them not to contact me again. It hurts like hell, but I hope to get green light from the doctor so I can get back soon. So rumors that are mostly bullshit. So which parts are mostly bullshit? And also the journalists are going to do the job. This is story material regardless. You broke your ankle, and the rumors, if the sources, if they're in contact with people and the sources say that you got in a fist fight, odds are you probably got in a fist fight. So here's a chance for you to give your side of the story at least. But instead, k0nfig decides to go for the tactic of, actually, I'm just going to fucking call you liars and not say anything past that. Now, what I theorized happened is that, you know, when you're playing in that environment, still, you have to give your phone away. Because I'm just like, dude, we live in a day and age where every fight ever that happens gets recorded. Somebody's got a phone. But the joke with this one is that maybe, you know, it's like this literally happened after the game is over, before the players even get their phones back. Because this happened to Astralis versus Heroic, maybe, right? Because that's the assumption is that it's day on day in action, and maybe there was some spicy talk going on between Heroic and Astralis, and k0nfig is frustrated, he lets one fly. But it's in an environment where nobody has a phone because they just finished playing a match and they haven't gotten their phones back. So I'm just like, where's the footage? Where's the video footage? Where's anything on this? Like, how do we not have any information past a couple of sources and a Jackson article?
You ready for the fire?
All right, I'm ready. Hit me.
I hate this. Could be a Thorin's Thoughts video. Are you ready? So first of all, we have to establish the character of who k0nfig is, right? As you said, there is already a story in the past where he has injured his wrist in a particular capacity, implying he is not careful about what is literally his money makers, his hands, his wrists. Remember, this is a guy, his whole game is based on having the best aim of almost anyone in Counter-Strike. Like, he is the person who cannot afford to break his wrists. If he breaks his wrists, he is done in CSGO. He isn't like old school Zipnik, some genius computer who's going to calculate everything. He has to shoot you straight in the head with amazing twitch muscle fiber precision. So the idea already, that suggests he's been reckless with his career, right? Then think before that, when he was in teams like North. He was kicked out when he was one of the best players in the world still. Then he was obviously in that team Optic, never really went anywhere. Didn't seem like his career was going. It was implied before, he even sort of admitted in his interview with me, that maybe extracurricular activities got to him a little bit. Maybe he partied a little bit too much. You can decide in what way he partied, but maybe he was just burning the candle at both ends a little bit too much. And in doing so, if you don't know k0nfig, I always say what's brilliant about Counter-Strike is a lot of people's character as a person manifests in their playing style and what they're good at in the game, how they approach the game. So do you know what? You can imagine, think of how ochs used to play on LAN, where he was the biggest balls AWPer ever, who'll run into your angle, no-scope some motherfucker, shoot another guy last second, and then go like, bro, you don't tell me tactic, I fucking kills this bitch. Like, that's the fucking guy ochs is in real life too. That's why he will aggressively come back if someone trash talks him, or he might even just tell someone in his team to go fuck themselves and go play. That's who he is as a person. Similarly, just like he is in the game, where k0nfig's style is just run through a brick wall and shoot your way out of trouble, that's also who I found he is in his extracurricular settings. He is the guy who maybe parties a little bit too hard, and when he does, if you talk shit to him and he's in that right mood, he ain't going to take it lying down and go, well, I'm a pro and let's just let it go. So here's the thing, I didn't even take it, quite frankly, that it was implied, as you said, about players. I actually think, by the way they intentionally mentioned nothing about anyone else in esports, that this would be something, here's my speculation, like he was in a bar afterwards. And you know what, Semmler?
It was a bank situation.
Some people, when they're in a bar or a club, when they've lost a game, want to get happy, and they're sort of a happy drunk, and they just get going in the game. Some people, it turns dark. Some people get aggressive. Some people in that scenario, they've already got so much shit going on in their head and in their life and their feelings, and the team isn't going well, and it's on the brink of everything, and you haven't qualified for the Blast 4 finals yet. They're going to be in Copenhagen, and you're going to be a laughing stock of Denmark, and you're the guy who was supposed to bring Astralis back up, and you haven't done it yet, and Blame F's carrying you, mate, and you're pretty good, but not quite what people were. If all this shit's going on, that's exactly where one person saying the wrong thing, bumping past you in the right way, saying, hey, get the fuck out, you know what, get the fuck out, foreigner, what are you even doing tomorrow? That's where the wrong guy saying that could set you off. And in that scenario, you're already out the tournament. You've got weeks to wait for the RMR. You're waiting there. You've been waiting the whole time. Is Device ever coming, or is he not coming? Are we just stuck with Farley, or what? Like, the whole thing's a pressure cooker. And in that scenario, I could see someone making a bad decision. I could see someone who already had too many drinks, maybe gets into a scuffle with someone, starts having a quarrel. Hey, don't push me, bro. Like, you go on one of those, and then all of a sudden, you trip over someone, you trip over their foot, your ankle's fucked. Now, I will say, here's what doesn't help k0nfig, because let's do some analysis, right? You said it right there, Semmler. He's done himself with his tweet. I always say the reason esports pros are so fucking stupid and bad at decision making is they won't ever let sleeping dogs lie. If the initial story comes out, k0nfig involved in this, he kills it with silence. Astralis kills it with silence. Nobody ever addresses it, maybe for 3 years, until he does Reflections Part 3, and then maybe then he says what actually happened and say for that point in time. Instead, what he does, as you said, like a lot of pros, he petulantly decides, I'm just going to say they lied, except here's the problem. I know they didn't lie. So what I'm going to have to do is infer that they lied so that my true fans will go, bloody Jackson, who even are they? I bet they're just trying to get all this fucking, like, get clicks off my name, aren't they? So here's what he said. He said, Jackson contacted me with rumours that are mostly BS. As you said, Semmler, the word mostly ruins that whole sentence. So what I always say is this. These are like the guys who you think they might have done it, but you haven't got it all nailed down. And then they go into the police station and they say too much in the interview and they give the whole thing away and they get trapped. And in the end, you know they did it. And then you go, right, well, now I've just got to look for the evidence. So look here. What he says there, the word mostly is doing so much fucking heavy lifting at this point in time. It's probably going to break the women's world record for weightlifting and fucking like bench press or something, isn't it? Fucking hell, boys. Because the joke, as you said, is, what do you mean mostly? What you've implied there is some of it's true. And since you haven't said which part, now people can even speculate any of it's true. That's why he's done himself. If it was totally false, and remember, he's never going to have any contact with them again. He has nothing else to gain from ever working with them again. Here's what you do. Here's what you say. Jackson lied. What they're publishing is a lie. I was never involved in a quarrel or a fight. My injury has nothing to do with anything else except, in this case, maybe it was a sporting injury or a Vespa, like whatever it could be. If you do that, by the way, Semmler, you have them over a fucking barrel. You have them dead to rights, and every fan, whether what you've said's a lie or not, will believe you, and you ride off into the sunset. You are victorious. Like when Device came out and slammed Nell and said that, like, you know, I've got like mental health things going on, and like you shouldn't speculate as to why I'm not in a team. When he did that, loads of people were like, you know what, fuck that Nell guy, actually. How dare he? How dare you do that when someone else is mental health? k0nfig could have played this card. By the way, spoiler, if you know anything about basic strategy, I'm almost certain he would have done that if this was the case. I'm almost certainly that's what, because as he said, he's severed all ties with them. I even think, are you ready for a little piece of fire for you that a lot of people don't know? One of the people behind Jackson used to work for North. Remember who else used to play for North, Semmler? k0nfig. So he probably even knows this person and had a previous relationship with him. That's why
spicy.
It's not just that it's mostly BS, but then he just tells him, I want you to respect it because it's private. We ain't in North anymore, homie. North's gone. That shit's gone, hasn't it? The underbite's gone, homie. At this point in time, he's a journalist now. If the story's there, he isn't coming to you saying, if you don't like it, I won't publish. Like, he ain't the North PR guy, mate. Now he's a journalist. So in this particular case, when you say, I don't want you to publish it, well, that was never on the table, you idiot. What you actually had a chance to do there, if you were smart, was maybe control how it came out. You could maybe say to him, I'll tell you what, here's what I'll do for you. Me and Astralis, I'll go away. I'll tell them you know that it happened, and we'll figure out like a way that actually will give you the official comment on what happened. And then you can publish the story, because before they publish the story, they give them the courtesy of telling him it. But you can publish the story, and in doing so, though, I'll give you a quote while I explain what happened, which is, you know what, I wasn't just in a scuffle. I wasn't just like being bad. This isn't like things I've done in the past or rumors that existed about me before. You know what, in this particular case, I was just having a quiet beer with someone in a bar, and someone bumped into me, and then what happened was, you know, like they said something, I was a bit upset, so I said something back, but then they pushed me, and then they started fighting me, and you know what? You notice I didn't break their jaw. I tripped over, they pushed me. If you do all that, by the way, this all goes away. This suddenly all the context comes in, it looks totally different. There's no big drama about it in that. So I have to say, the way this was done, I think he's given the whole fucking game away with his response here. I think it looks so silly. And yeah, as you say, it will always be the dirtiest tactic ever. When you know that some of it's true, to just basically infer like, you're just all lying, it's just lies and rumors. How could rumors be mostly BS? They're just bullshit. They didn't happen. It's not true. It's a rumor. You've actually now confirmed some of it isn't a rumor, you fool. So this is where these people can't help themselves, Sam. They just do it. The joke there is he just kept talking to the police without his lawyer. He's just got him fucking bodied, hasn't he? Like they've done the old switcheroo and it's wrecked him. Well, your mate's just said everything. Oh, well, he didn't do it all. It was his idea. Oh, shit, what have I done? Like, which, by the way, spoiler, like, none of that shit would actually hold him in court most of the time. It's like entrapment in it, but in every TV procedural, that's how they catch them when they're not good enough at writing the plot in it.
Well, there is the rule. Don't talk to police. Good, bad, doesn't matter. Don't talk. Just
get a lawyer, or in this case, get the PR guy. That's the other thing, mate. How far's Astralis gone? Device was just posting tweets other people wrote for him. k0nfig's just out here whiling. By the way, there's another thing that's mad. Notice he doesn't say anything like, actually, my spot isn't in any way in danger. Because here's the last thing I have to say. You nailed it earlier, but you didn't put 2 and 2 together. You said 2 and 2, and you didn't do 4. Here's what you didn't think about Semmler. Why the fuck would your ankle being wrecked means you don't get to play in the team? Homie, you sat down. You could even have your leg elevated and still play the game. People have played who were in wheelchairs with no legs. Like, if it was your wrist, Semmler, it makes sense you can't play. If it's your ankle, you know what the implication is. I didn't know this because I didn't know this story had happened, and I wouldn't know if it was true or not. If this is the case that he's been in some sort of a scuffle and he's wrecked his ankle, then maybe that is why they benched him. Maybe actually in this case they decided, you know, we're sick of your shit, and this is just like the straw that's broke the camel's back, so actually you're out. Yeah, we're going to actually either suspend you or we're maybe looking to move on from you. And obviously, there is still the shadow that maybe Device can still come to Astralis. And if he comes, look, I know it's going to make everyone really sad if Farley and Device are in the team at the same time. But if they think k0nfig's the troublemaker, and spoiler, he's been the troublemaker in a past big Danish team and doesn't seem, unfortunately, potentially to have learned his lessons, then he's the guy who's gone. I think he's actually inadvertently validated most of the whole story against him.
In one single tweet, Like that, you got it. It's like an achievement unlock or something, you know. Like you really gotta work to pull that off. Except that he probably didn't even. He just probably was like, oh, pure emotion. Just gonna post this and own this guy real quick, and then, I mean, what do we give the English isn't his first language excuse? Is that how we get out of this as well? You know, like, well, you know, maybe it's not translated correctly because in Danish he would have said this, and I don't know, dude.
And yeah, that is right, by the way. All you people out there like, oh, but he just does a script for all his videos. Homie, I could just drop a video like live impromptu like that and make it fire.
There you go.
I even did that. Fucking North. No.
Dude, I
was in North, like a brave line. I was in North. Me and Katie were in North. Fucking hell, get out. Get the fuck out of my face.
Dude. Just bringing the dragon back. Just bringing I mean, you have to be told it's a dragon, and then you do think that it's whatever.
The North dragon was like the dragons in Game of Thrones. The actual old North dragon or whatever was like the fucking House of the dragons. Way better.
Way better. Well, as far as k0nfig is concerned, I mean, dude's gonna be sitting it out. Mister's coming in. Mister, right? Shoot, I just threw that out there. I'm pretty sure it's Mister coming in from the from Astralis Talent, who's going to be standing in for him. And, well, I mean, we find out if this is the end of the k0nfig saga on Astralis, if he's not going to get to play with the mic, we're not going to get to
look something up. I'm going to have to look something up. I can't even believe this is real. I'm going to find it for you, though.
No.
Oh, fuck, where is it? Oh, I can't find it at the moment. Let me see. Maybe it's a different game. Fuck. I'm trying to see what other games do they have teams in. I'll look on the Astralis thing. I swear Astralis on their Twitter the other day posted like a player that was on some academy team of theirs, but it might have been, it doesn't seem like it's CS, and he had the most absurd name of all time to be in. Let me have a look here. Let me see what it was though. I'm trying to see if I can find it, because if I can, it's pure banter. Let me have a look what it was called. Oh, it's not going to be here, is it? Oh no, here we go. Here we go. This can't be real, surely. Let me just double check. I'm just going to Google this to check it's actually right. No, this is his actual name. It's just what game does he play, though? Oh, it's from CSGO. Oh, no, never mind, actually, never mind. It was apparently some match. I thought that they'd announced a player and his name was Struggle Tony, but apparently that's the team they were playing against. I was going to say, if the talent in their team, it's like, yeah, they do bloody struggle, don't they, in fucking Astralis, like the talent, bloody hell. It's like being if you join Astralis as like the fifth man, I used to think the old NIP fifth spot was pretty cursed, Semmler, the Poison Chalice. If you join the fifth spot in fucking Astralis at any point in time, it's like being in like Dickensian time where you're like a fucking little, like you're with Fagin and he's like, right, you're small enough to fit through the windows. You're going to get in there and you're going to go and open the door for us all. Don't worry if he chases you. And then we're all going to come in and rob the house, aren't you? It's like that. You're just doing all the shit jobs, aren't you? You're just getting wrecked all the time. Like fucking Lockie, Farley, mate, it's Bobski. Remember Bobski? Remember that? Remember when Bobski was alive? Dead now, of course. Fucking hell. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I know. Mate, he's like some guy who like went in the porn industry. It's like 2 years later, he's just used up and fucking tossed to one side.
And now he's a porn advocate.
I know, looking like a fucking kebab
or whatever the play is.
Looking like a fucking doner kebab. I know.
It's fucking brutal.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.